In your headlines, the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation hosted a Chance for Change workshop. The forecast is showing a small system ahead of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season. And the 52nd annual meeting of the Board of Governors of the Caribbean Development Bank is only 20 days away. From the PTV Broadcasting Headquarters in Providenciales, your #1 source for news, I'm Erica Pinales, delivering the latest from across the country this Wednesday, May 11th, 2022, right to your door. Newswatch starts now. Measure better to target better. Adaptation and resilience is this year's theme for the 52nd annual meeting of the Board of Governors of the Caribbean Development Bank. TCIG and CDB's annual meeting media launch press conference was Tuesday, May 10th, 2022.
The story that it tells, though, is the fact that small is beautiful, and the fact that these overseas territories are, in fact, small island states do pack some power in these regional institutions. The theme, measure better to deliver better, what is it? Better. To target better, is very appropriate for Turks and Caicos, because it is what we're focused on, what we hope to deliver for the people of our Turks and Caicos. It is said that what you can't measure, you can't miss. Right? We don't want to miss anything. So we want to make sure that we hit the targets, and therefore it's important for us to determine what those targets are going to be. The CDB is no stranger to Turks and Caicos. Turks and Caicos has been a beneficiary of its membership of the CDB, and we have long been engaged with them. We've benefited in many different areas, from education to housing to small entrepreneurial loans in the past, including all of our sectors, including the agricultural sector. And we hope to build on that relationship going forward.
A very important reason why having this meeting at this time is because we are reportedly charting a course to change the trajectory of the relationship with TCI and other countries.
The Turks and Caicos is very keen to continue to invest in the expansion of its economy and the development of its people, and the CDB is a significant partner in that. We're also very keen to ensure that to the extent that we can contribute to the overall development of the Caribbean, that we can do so through lessons that we have learned from our own experience, but also to benefit from lessons that our borrowing nation members have also can also contribute to the development of Turks and Caicos.
This meeting, as we gathered, was a means of directing the work of the bank towards this objective. Dr. Hygienist Jean Leon, president of the Caribbean Development Bank, was also present at the meeting and shared his remarks.
The meeting I want to stress is essentially the flagship event of the bank. Every year, once a year, the Board of Governors meet. And they meet essentially to chart the course for where the bank is heading. And so that places it at the highest level of authority, highest level of governance. And so we don't take it lightly that the annual meeting is the single most important meeting in the bank's agenda.
The meeting will take place on June 1st to the 16th. This annual meeting will bring together the bank's highest decision-making body to discuss key development challenges facing the region and innovative solutions. This meeting will be held under the chairmanship of Honorable Charles Washington Mizik, our Premier, and CDB Governor for the British Overseas Territories.
So it is with distinct pleasure that we are looking to come to TCI in just under a month's time from the 13th to the 17th of June.
Measure Better to Target Better, Adaptation and Resilience is this year's theme for the 52nd annual meeting of the Board of Governors of the Caribbean Development Bank. Here, the president explains why this theme was selected.
So with regard to the theme, I want to just backtrack a little and say what exactly are the pillars that we see as critical for the development of the region going forward. And I think we narrowed it down to 3 catchy phrases. The first is the measure better to target better. And that in itself, even if it is just a phrase, has a lot going on in the background, so much so that we are making it the entirety of what we want to talk about in the annual meeting this year. But there's a second equally important one, which is we need to marshal development finance. And that's the second big area that we are focused on at the bank. And it will be part of, but not given as much prominence in the annual meetings deliberations. And the third is we need to share to grow. And that's almost like turning the cat around. We tend to think if we hold, we will grow, but the truth is we need to give to grow. And it's that sharing that will make a difference. We're not going to highlight that this year in the annual meeting, but I wanted to start there because it paints the picture of what it is that we at the bank are about in terms of the development of the region.
The president added that once we understand those 3, we narrow them down to seeing that those 3 things work together for a holistic idea of development. Stay tuned for more of this story in a subsequent newscast. Don't go anywhere. More News Watch when we return.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to News Watch. Government is sending big thanks to U.S. Coast Guard for their assistance with the interception of a vessel carrying over 200 illegal migrants. News Watch has the latest.
Some 212 illegal migrants are being processed to be repatriated back to Haiti. Another big chunk from the public's purse, an issue that government continues to grapple with. The police press office shared that around 9:15 a.m. on Monday, May 9th, 24 hours after the arrival of 2 other sloops, a vessel believed to have been heading to the Turks and Caicos was picked up by the United States Coast Guard just south of the TCI. Shortly after, the police marine branch was deployed and immigration officers informed of the incident. However, it was the work of the United States Coast Guard that led to the successful interception of that vessel. Government officials and law enforcement alike sent heartfelt thank you to the reserve for their efforts.
The Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation hosted a Chance for Change workshop in hopes of fostering successful reintegration. Take a look. The official launch took place during a brief and informative ceremony on Wednesday, July 10th in 2019 at the Blue Haven Resort. The Chance for Change was initially launched in efforts of joining with various government departments, private sector organizations, churches, and other non-governmental groups, all working together to assist offenders and to support their transition from incarceration back into society. The Chance for Change workshop yesterday was seemingly attended by leaders of the church mostly, with the intention of helping offenders reintegrate in the community successfully by addressing their specific needs and identifying community resources to match those assessed needs. So maybe you'd like to know who can participate in this program. To participate, you must firstly be a legal citizen or resident of the Turks and Caicos Islands. You must have been convicted as an adult or juvenile and imprisoned, and you must have been released from prison in the past 12 months. To access these services, you must sign up while in prison or call or visit the Probation and Rehabilitation Unit. The 12 components of the program include release planning, case management, employment, mental health or substance abuse, education, essential needs, social support, housing, identification, bag of hope, a support group, and pro-social activities. Some transition tips that were shared at the workshop for inmates is that re-entry can be both exciting and frustrating. And some things to consider are to mentally prepare for the adjustment process, give yourself permission to ease into the transition, understand that what was once familiar can seem different, expect mood swings. It is possible for you to feel happy one minute and defeated a short time later. However, don't isolate yourself and work with your probation officer. The Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation's mission is to rescue offenders from a life of crime and provide the structure, supervision, support, and assistance they need to move beyond who they were and become who God intended them to be.
Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back. Coming up next is your weather forecast.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
After a humid weekend, the forecast is showing a small system ahead of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season. Take a look.
The National Hurricane Center is tracking the first tropical wave of 2022. An update issued on Sunday, May 8th, shared that wave was developing off the west of Africa, moving west at almost 12 miles per hour, another indicator of the premature start of the hurricane season. After a hot and humid Mother's Day weekend, the weather did a complete 360, beginning with heavy winds. The Bahamas Department of Meteorology issued a weather warning. The islands experienced a week of intermittent weather, carrying with it a cold front with severe flooding in some parts of New Providence. While the TCI felt only a gist of that weather, another low-pressure system near the TCI kicked off yet again, and that began with lightning and thunder late Tuesday night, with showers into the early morning. However, the sun is back out. Into this, we take the opportunity to remind residents that in 2 short weeks, it will be the official start of the 2022 hurricane season. It's never too early to prepare.
Here's your weather forecast for May 12, 2022. For the nation's capital, Grand Turk, on Thursday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 81, low 76, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. For South Caicos, partly cloudy skies, high 81, low 76, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. For North and Middle Caicos, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 81, low 75, winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For Perrodon Pine Key on Thursday, sunshine and mixed clouds, high 81, low 75, winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And on Providenciales, sunshine and mixed clouds, high 81, low 75, winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour.
Now for your sunrise and sunset. Sunrise 6:12 a.m., sunset 7:20 p.m. And for your high tides and low tides, high tides 5:04 a.m., 5:32 p.m. and low tides 11:12 a.m., 11:50 p.m. And that's it for your weather forecast. We'll be right back with more News Watch.
Here at People's Television, we're more than just your leading news and entertainment services. We are
spreading the gospel.
We are breaking barriers.
We are preserving the culture. Each one, teach one.
We are committed to excellence.
We're creating change.
We are creating memories.
We are the future. I am PTV.
I am PTV. I am PTV.
I am PTV.
We are PTV.
We are continuing the legacy. We are PTV.
Welcome back to News Watch. Baby formula, like the little ones they nurture, is a very precious commodity. New and expecting mothers are going to want to pay attention to this story. It's about a recall of infant formula. Here's more.
The Ministry of Health is warning against the sale of powdered infant formulas manufactured by Abbott. These include Similac, Similac PM 6040, Alimentum, and Elicare. The ministry is advising all local healthcare facilities, other local suppliers, and the general public to cease the sale and use of some specific batches of the powdered formulas manufactured at one of the company's facilities in Michigan. The voluntary recall occurred after consumer complaints were issued following the presence of the bacteria Salmonella Newport in infants who had consumed these formulas. The recalled formulas are not to be used if the first two digits of the code are 22 through 37 or contains K8, SH, or Z2 with an expiration date of April 2022 or later. The Salmonella bacteria can cause rare bloodstream and central nervous system infections and is associated with severe intestinal infection and blood poisoning, especially in newborns. Symptoms include fever, poor feeding, excessive crying, and lethargy. With this, all healthcare facilities and suppliers are hereby advised to immediately cease the supply of affected batches of these formulas, notify your overseas vendors, and quarantine all remaining stock for disposal by the Department of Environmental Health.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of The Real News. I hate to leave you so soon, but of course, you can join us right back here every weekday at 6:30 p.m. and tap into our social media platforms at www.ptv8tci.com. I'm Erica Penales, keeping you informed, updated, and affiliated. Until next time.